The Meiji Restoration was the only bloodless transition of power in all of Japanese history. It resulted in the peaceful surrender of power from Shogun Tokugawa Yoshinobu to Emperor Meiji. When I first came to Japan, this was something that people wanted me to know the most about Japanese history, that the transition to the Meiji period was a peaceful one compared to others, which were all really violent. Guess what though? The Meiji Restoration also starts with a war. On New Year's Day, 1868, Shogun Tokugawa Yoshinobu declares war on the Satsuma clan, thinking that the Satsuma clan was turning the emperor against him. Yoshinobu calls on shogunate supporters and the Aizu clan to form the shogunate army. The Choshu and Tosa clans rally behind Satsuma, and they become the imperial army. This would be the start of the Boshin War. The first conflict of that war happens just outside Kyoto on two fronts, Toba and Fushimi. In this video, I'll take you through the main events of the Battle of Toba-Fushimi and show you around the actual locations. I'll also provide some maps for reference. So, let's go to war! So now it's January 2nd, 1868. We were on day 2 of the 15-day-long New Year's holiday. Families are gathered together, enjoying the traditional foods that are prepared in advance. They pull out their best kimono, they go to shrines and temples for their first visit rituals, and they stop by the houses of friends and business contacts to wish them a Happy New Year. It is during this time that Tokugawa Yoshinobu sends his troops out to Kyoto. Soldiers from the Aizu clan arrive at Yodo Castle, and then they split up. 700 soldiers march up the Toba-Kaido Road, while 200 more sail up the Yodo River and arrive in Fushimi. This is Fushimi. During the Edo period, Fushimi was a bustling boat town, the bus terminal of its day. Goods traveling to Kyoto would leave Hachikenya in Osaka and travel up the Yodo River to Fushimi. And so Fushimi was kind of a gateway into the capital of Kyoto. It is also here that you find the 200 Aizu soldiers disembarking in Fushimi onto Kyobashi Bridge. We even have a picture. The troops unload and set up their lodgings at the Fushimi Mido. However, their arrival has not gone unnoticed. They don't realize that the clans of the Imperial Army are already there. That night, 6 men from Satsuma Choshu and Tosa come to the gate of Fushimi Mido and attempt to block Aizu from entering Kyoto.
They set up their cannons behind me. Just over there is the Fushimi Magistrate, which is where the Bakufu had their office buildings. Between here and the Magistrate, a standoff begins.
So, if the Imperial Army is already in Fushimi, what's happening to the shogunate troops marching up the Toba-Kaido Road? As the Aizu troops in Fushimi unload onto Kyobashi Bridge, the ones traveling up the Toba-Kaido Road have run into a slight problem. Around midday, the shogunate troops, who have been unhindered until this point, are suddenly stopped by the Imperial Army at a checkpoint gate just outside the town of Toba. The Imperial Army have brought cannon and are pointing guns at the shogunate troops. There is a real palpable tension as a standoff begins.
The Aizu troops have come up this way on the Toba-Kaido road. Satsuma troops are already waiting for them here on this side. Aizu is facing Kyoto, or facing where the emperor is. So if they were to have shot their rifles, they would essentially be shooting at the emperor. So they didn't want to do that. So they didn't put any shot in their rifles. So when Satsuma finally fires upon the Aizu troops, they don't have any ammunition in their rifles, so the Aizu troops just fall,
pushing the Aizu troops back down the way they came.
That first shot came from this spot, which is now Shimotoba Park. There is a memorial to that event here. That shot in Toba was heard all over Kyoto. Here at Gokonomiya, they could hear the shots being shot in Toba, and so the Satsuma troops here at Gokonomiya Shrine start to shoot their rifles at the Fushimi magistrate.
This is the main thoroughfare of the battle down this street. You can even see bullet holes, like the ones found in the walls of this high-class restaurant.
By the evening, the Fushimi magistrate is up in flames, along with most of the buildings here in Fushimi, causing the townspeople to run for their lives.
Even this hotel, Teradaya, made famous because Sakamoto Ryoma and Miyoshi Shinzo were attacked here just 2 years before, was burned down during the attack. The fighting is so bad that Aizu retreats. They try to make a run back to Yodo Castle, where they thought that they would be safe since they had just left there the day before. Surely they would be let back into the castle, right?
The shogunate forces ran here to Yodo Castle, but Yodo Castle did not want to become an enemy of the emperor, so they refused to open the gates.
No, go away, go away, no.
With Satsuma troops coming not far from behind, the shogunate troops come to this bridge. To keep them from coming, they burn this bridge and another bridge to the south. From there, Satsuma captures the Yodo Castle, and it falls into the hands of the new government troops. It may not look like anything now, but in the time of the battle, this place was a river. So the river would have been here in this area, and then the small bridge to Yodo Castle would have come in this direction here.
Losing Yodo Castle was a big defeat. Their next option was trying to get to Hashimoto, which was further down the Yodo River. There was a cannon battery there at the side of the river, so if they got to Hashimoto, reinforcements would be waiting for them there. The reinforcements were from the Tsu clan, who had been allies with the shogun since the Battle of Sekigahara. Plot twist! Before the shogunate troops could get to Hashimoto, the commander of the Tsu clan army, Todo Uneme, is visited by an emissary from Emperor Meiji. The emissary gives Todo a very stern warning. Either support the emperor and fire upon the retreating Aizu, or become an enemy of the emperor along with Aizu. This put the Tsu clan in a really tight spot. Would they support their longtime ally, or would they betray them and side with the emperor? To fire or not to fire? Yikes! And so at Hashimoto, a standoff ensued between the fleeing Aizu troops and the pursuing Satsuma troops, with Tsu watching from across the Yodo River. Then, in a twist of fate, Todo turned his cannons on the shogunate and opened fire. This became the death blow to the shogunate forces. From here, the survivors somehow make it back to Osaka Castle, only to find that their commander Yoshinobu has booked it to Edo. Satsuma takes their sweet time walking to Osaka Castle and report black clouds billowing up from that direction as the survivors are very hard at work exploiting the castle's ammunition stores. Once the imperial army arrives, Osaka Castle is surrendered, thus ending the Battle of Toba-Fushimi. Shogun Yoshinobu is not out of the woods yet, though. The Boshin War continues as the imperial troops start their march on to Edo. What happens? Well, there is a cooldown about that, which you can listen to here. That is the basic gist of the Battle of Toba-Fushimi, but there is a whole lot more to the battle that I did not mention here. Join me for part 2 when I talk about one of the craziest events that happens during the battle. You may be wondering, why was it that Aizu repeatedly retreated back to Osaka? And also, why were they abandoned by Yodo Castle, by the Tsu clan, even by their commander? Well, there was a really big reason. Something the stuff of legend appeared on the battlefield. It was told in legend that this thing would never appear again, but when it does appear at the Battle of Toba-Fushimi, right in front of the terrified faces of the shogun's troops, everyone was shocked to their very core. People at the time of the Toba-Fushimi battle understood its historical significance and the message that it was sending. Jeez, what could it have possibly have been? But that's all I have for today. See you next time.